Tick loud in the chamber, pressure gets colder. Resla walks in, truth riding his shoulder. Here for the shift, tear the mask off pretenders. Beat drop, he's a fucking monster. Cuts through the noise, pulls the lies in the daylight. Every move calculated, every word's a fist fight. Building new codes, stacking bricks for the future. Turning midlife to gold, cut the chains like a suture. Keeps time as a weapon, each tick is a death note. Lights up the skyline, watch the whole city take note. Not chasing the fame, here to freeze what's molten. Break open the silence, keep the truth ice-coated. No clock to punch in, he's the one who dictates. Every second's a fuse, watch the skyline detonate.
What's good, everybody? What is good? Welcome to, of course, yes, another episode with your guy over here, Resla. Oh man, there's got a whole stuff going on. I know I haven't really been on. I've been saying that for quite a bit, but we're gonna be doing it for this one because if I didn't do it today, I feel like I've been leaving us with really not much to really talk about for so long. And this is one that I had to have with a particular conversation with a young lady, and I figured, rather than just have it in my own mind and just be staying with it, I wanted to talk about it. I even missed out on what I was really thinking about as I just got off the phone with the individual, right? But let me just ask you something. How many of you are carrying around choices that still replay in your heads today? That's the question. Life never gives you the full picture, no matter how you try. You can make decisions not with tomorrow's clarity, but with today's understanding. And sometimes years later, you look back on and you even think about, if only I knew what I knew now. But here's the reality of it. If you're okay with who you are, you'll live your life your whole life, to be honest with you, as if you're still on the trial for the things that you've done in the past. And I think this is something that we really, really need to get through, because I think a lot of us look at how we move around and we judge ourselves in that particular fashion, right? Tonight, I kind of want to break that cycle with you guys, or at least put us on the path for that cycle. I want to unpack what it means to live with your actual choices, to stop apologizing for your existence, to be honest with you, and to carry peace instead of the shame that a lot of us end up carrying with us. So let's just try to get a little bit into that. And the first thing I want to talk about is pretty much the weight of the choices that we make. You know, every human being makes decisions, and pretty much when we make those decisions, we're doing give it a lot of blind spots. It's unavoidable. Nobody gets the whole picture before they get the chance to act. I mean, think about it. When was the last time that you stood at, quote, the crossroads? Maybe it's your job. Maybe you're deciding at a walkway. Maybe you're deciding with individuals that you're dealing with whether to walk away because you couldn't see yourself there anymore, like especially at a job. Or maybe it was a relationship that you stayed a little too long in, a little longer than you should have, to be honest with you. Maybe you're hoping that things can get better in the future. Or even if it's something as simple as money, maybe you're spending when you thought you could stretch it out, only to realize later that you really couldn't. Here's what actually happens, folks. Weeks, months, even years. You look back and you judge yourself with the wisdom of hindsight. You replay it like a movie. You think about it frame by frame. How the hell did I even get down to that? Thinking, I should have known better. But the truth is, you didn't know better. And that's not a failure, by the way. That's just life. We forget something really important. You were not the same person then that you are now. Back then, you didn't have today's clarity. You didn't have today's scars. You didn't even have today's lessons. This is all the stuff that you've accumulated and collected over time. You have to walk through those choices to become who you are today. And I don't think we give ourselves enough grace when it comes to that. That is the actual point, ladies and gentlemen. You made the best calls that you could have made based on limited vision and limited information that you had at the time. And you are punishing yourself now. Why? That punishing the wrong, you're punishing the wrong person. You are punishing the wrong person. You are punishing the person that is holding on to a past self. There's no way that you could be accountable for that, accountable to the knowledge that they couldn't have possibly had in that moment. How many of you, now I'll just ask this, how many of you are still carrying on to guilt for choices that you made trying to survive? Maybe you stayed quiet when you know you should have spoken up. Maybe you walked away when you should have fought harder. Or maybe you fought too long for something that was never really going to change. I'm talking about the perspective of shift, the shift changes that happen. You did not, or rather, you did what you thought was right at the time with all the information, the limited information that you had. And if you hadn't made those calls, if you wouldn't be there with the wisdom that you have today, how can you blame yourself for it? Let me try to summarize everything I just said in my head real quick. The worst prison is punishing yourself with information that you didn't have at the time. You made the best call you could have with what you knew at the time. I think that you should respect that version of you. Because when you start respecting the version of you, you stop living like your past is a damn courtroom. You stop cross-examining yourself like every choice that you've come across was a crime. You start walking with lighter steps because you realize even if the outcome wasn't perfect, you weren't careless. You were just being human. And being human means you'll zig when you should have zagged. But that doesn't make you broken, folks. That just makes you alive. And of course, I want to thank everybody who already just walked into the building. I know we are trying to rebuild everything because your boy's been off for a while and he's trying to rebuild a whole bunch of different stuff. And now trying to get back into this whole thing when it comes to content. But I appreciate you guys for being here. I saw Mama in here, the Winch. I saw Caucasian Sasquatch in here. I saw Yvette Marie in here. And I saw some people dipping in and out in the views. But of course, people don't want to say anything because they're lurkers, because they're expecting something that I'm not willing to talk about. And to continue what I'm talking about, I also want to talk about this because this is something prevalent we see even in our online lives, not necessarily as prevalent as our real lives, but why people tear each other down. I've been thinking about this one for a little bit, even though I had to have the conversation. Have you ever noticed how some people just can't let you live? Let me say it again. Have you ever noticed that there are some people who cannot let you live? You didn't offend them. You didn't hurt them. You didn't even come across their lane. Yet, somehow, they come for you like it's their own personal damn mission. I know I have dealt with this in real life, and I've also dealt with this online. And here's the truth. When people are unhappy with themselves, they go looking for someone to criticize. Why? I think it's because tearing someone else down is easier than admitting that their own reflection is what they can't stand. The issue when you're dealing with the mirror, right, folks, is that when you are looking in the mirror, you might be able to even see some of these scars that you have. But what you cannot see is the emotional ones. You cannot see the battles that you fought. You can't see the experience on your face. You can only see what the results were. Think about a coworker who nitpicks everything you do, not because you're sloppy, but because you're showing initiative while they're sitting back in the same spot that they've been in for years. Think about the friend who cannot celebrate your wins without adding, yeah, but you know it won't last, right? That's not about your wins. That's about their insecurities screaming out loud. Even when it comes to families, by the way, because you've probably seen it. A parent or even a sibling of yours who feels like they didn't live up to their own expectations are willing to minimize yours. This can even happen in the household of the person that you married, the person that you decided to procreate with. They can't clap for you because it exposes the silence that they have about themselves. It exposes all the insecurities that they have about themselves. And here's the thing that's really nasty. This tearing down is rare. It's rarely loud confidence. It usually hides something that's the small cuts that happen throughout life, by the way. And normally the people who are actually displaying those small cuts when they deal with you. Sarcasm, jokes with a little bit of edge, backhanded compliments. It's like slow, poisonous drips. Insecure people don't hate you. Just want to put that out there. They hate what your stability reminds them of. Reminds them that they don't have it. They don't got the juice. That's just what it is. I look at it and I try to see what is it that people are really trying to overcome that they just won't take a look at. Because that change or those changes are the entire basis that they should be looking at instead of minimizing it so they can look at yours. And if you're a person who does this, if you manage, this is you. You should stop thinking about other people and maybe just start focusing on the things that are really important that you should be working on. Come on. You've realized the things that you're slipping at. You realize the things that you should be focusing on and you're not doing it. That's no one else's fault but yours. You've realized this already. If you're the type of person that you Here's a great example. If you're the type of person that you get up every morning to do whatever you got to do for the task, you go to your bathroom and you splash water on your face, or you wash your face even intently, but you know that even you're so used to your body because you know every flaw that's going on. You can wash your face, you can scrub here, scrub there, but you notice that with your whole routine, you're going for your neck, you're going behind your ears, whatever, but you never open your eyes to take a look at the progress that you're doing because you're just not comfortable looking at yourself. I'm speaking to you because you realize you're not bold enough to look at yourself, to ask yourself, to realize the shit that you've done by yourself. So many people clean themselves up, not seeing who they are. You wash your face, but never look at your face. Ladies, some of you guys wash your face and don't take the time to look at yourself, except for when you want to put on makeup to cover your insecurities up. Guys, some of you guys, you nasty motherfuckers, will barely wash your face because you don't want to look at yourself, because you're afraid that if you stare long enough, you may not like or may not even recognize the person that you see in the mirror. We're talking about you getting comfortable, readjusting by looking at yourself and acknowledging who you are. And if you don't like who you are, you have to first acknowledge it before you can make any form of change. And I don't think a lot of people want to do that. Now, does that mean that you let shit slide? Not always. Boundaries matter, of course, but it doesn't mean that you carry the poison with you in your bloodstream as you move around through life. Because the reality is, if someone is whole, if someone is truly okay with themselves, they don't dog other people down. People who are doing well or are okay with themselves don't go about their time trying to trample other people. They don't waste their time tearing down other people because they're too busy living life. They are too busy building. The people who lash out, who gossip, who nitpick, they're waving a flag that says, I'm not okay with me. So I need to distract myself by making you my enemy. And if you're not careful, you'll accept that projection onto yourself. You'll accept that projection as truth. You'll start shrinking. You'll start second guessing. You'll start apologizing for things that have nothing to do with you. And that's how you inevitably lose yourself. But when you see clarity for what it is, you can laugh at it, even if just a little bit. You can smile and you can say, I don't have to own your unhappiness. That's your shit to deal with, not mine. And I think when we move around, even in the online space, even in our real lives, and we start looking at other people and how they look at us versus how we look at ourselves, when we hold other people's opinions of us versus how we look at it ourselves, it says so much. This is the cost of authenticity. Being yourself, by the way, is expensive. Not just in dollars, but I mean in the actual outcomes. Here's the part where people don't prepare themselves for. When you stop playing roles, because I think a lot of people get online, and I'm literally focusing online right now, even though we do it in real life, people prepare themselves to play roles. But when you stop putting the mask on, that makes everyone else feel comfortable. The problem is that if you've been wearing a mask for so long, they don't know which side is the real you. And I think majority of people want people to acknowledge and respect their real side, but they're so disappointed with themselves. They are so disappointed with their own lives that they're afraid if people really got to see them, their true selves, that these people would hate them more than they already hate themselves. I'm just calling it out there. And a lot of people won't take the time to really acknowledge that. Some people won't know what to do with themselves, so therefore they're afraid that other people won't know what to do with them. When you start acting up, when you are very much uncomfortable with who you are because you're too busy playing a role and you want other people to respect you, but they can't respect you because they don't know who you are, it comes with a certain cost. It comes with a cost to your friendships. It costs you invitations into particular circles that you either thought once mattered or that you wanted to be affiliated with. Sometimes it even costs you your relationships with people that you thought you would be with on a permanent basis. And that's a heavy feeling. Because when you finally start living truthfully, the other people, the people who only love you for the performance that you put out there, they're going to start walking away. And for a while, it feels like a heavy loss. But let me say this to you. Loss is not always a punishment. It's not. And I'll give you an example of that right now. A lot of people do not watch even my content anymore because I stopped engaging in controversy that was no good for my personal feelings, my personal character. But a lot of people wanted me to be someone that I wasn't, to forsake my personal feelings, my personal thoughts, and my own soul for the popularity and the ambitions of others. I should stop being me because people don't think that me is good enough. I should subscribe to what they want, which is where they can get everything else. And it's nothing but controversy. There's enough controversy in the world. You don't need me for that. And that's why I say you can do something totally different. You can be yourself. The question is, are you more interested in how other people view you than you do yourself? And let me just say this for a moment, because I said that. Loss is not a big thing. It's not always a punishment. Sometimes loss is just a confirmation. It is a confirmation that those who were only in the room for you, they were only there for your costume. They were not there for your true character. I mean, think about it for a moment. How many people have you seen smiling in your face, but you know it was fake? But did you really want to call them out for that? No, because it was the only kind of smile that you were getting. Because let's be honest, if you can't be mad at getting fake smiles when you yourself was being a fake individual. The fake version of you might get you some applause, but the real version of you will get you peace. And if you think that you rather have applause rather than peace, don't be surprised that you're an unhappy individual who might choose to wreck other people because you're not happy with your own life. I can tell you about people who are not famous, who do not have a lot of money, but are happy. And I can also tell you about people who have money who are never happy. Which one do you think you're leaning towards? Because you think that you might be better or different from these people? You're not better, and you're also not different. I'll just tell you that from my own experience. And here's the hard truth. Peace doesn't clap for you. Peace doesn't post about you. Peace doesn't throw you a party. At first, peace feels quiet, sometimes even lonely. Oh, you're not going to see much of a party people in here. You forget that this is if they don't see panels for the people that shows up in if they don't see panels, they ain't showing up. So yeah, I'm sorry, KM. It ain't gonna be that. If they don't already see people, multiple heads up there, multiple talking heads, then or talking speech bubbles, they're not interested. And I'm okay with that because that's kind of what I'm talking about as well when I'm speaking about this thing. Being okay with yourself. Being okay with who you are. Because peace could let me sleep at night. I don't think it works the same way with a lot of other people. Peace lets you look in the mirror without having the fucking flinch. Peace gives you strength to walk around a room or walk into a room and walk out of a room and not need validation before you have to open your mouth. That's the cost of authenticity, by the way, folks. I know you love to watch all the fakery and the fuckery and the things that we call reality, which are not reality because they're all scripted. You subject yourself to even fucking up the very words, the very foundation of words being used, and you accept it. You don't call it out. This is the cost of authenticity. That you allow other people to redirect you to what things are when they're not that. This is what I'm going to call it. And because I call it that way, because I want it to be popular, I'm going to have you go for it and you accept it because you rather be entertained than educated. And then you complain later why everybody's fucking you over. You allowed it. This is the cost, once again, of authenticity. It comes empty. It is the room of people who never wanted to be real in the first place. But in that emptiness, you gain a room of people who do what? Say that you're great and then easily leave you the moment something happens, the moment you're not happy with yourself. So you should just be happy with yourself in the beginning. Because authenticity doesn't just protect you. It attracts the ones who were searching for you in the first place. Now, the question is, if you want to play a character, you'll never have people searching for you. You'll have people only searching for your character. Well, you said you're interested, so there's that. Sure, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are. Here's the funny part about it. A lot of people, and this is why I get mad at a lot of people who are even close to me in my own life. A lot of people are more interested and invest more in other people who are fake rather than invest in themselves. So, great example. This is the reason why I run into people who they love their big sports fans. They love to talk about teams. They love to talk about who did whatever. They'll talk about, say, LeBron or talk about whatever. And I go, you're more interested in spending your hard-earned money to watch someone who invested in themselves and make millions of dollars, but you won't invest in yourself. Think about all the money that you spent, that you've saved, that you've gambled on someone who never needed your money, by the way. And you won't take that income and invest in yourself so that you could put yourself possibly even in the future in a better position where instead of watching that man from the cheap seats, you could actually work your way towards the actual front row seats and possibly even shake that man's hand one day. These are the people that rather wish to become a millionaire rather than put them in the position to actually be a millionaire. I don't understand how you feel that you're going to be the one doing anything. You'll spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on lottery tickets, but you will not spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on yourself to make yourself smarter, to get certificates, to put yourself in a better position. Make that make sense. And you can't make it make sense, because just like I talk to people who are living in emotional states, you'll give yourself a pass saying, I feel good about the chance that I have a less than 1% chance, than saying that I feel good about myself for giving myself a 100% chance of betting on me and me only. How does that make sense? If you have a 1 in 400,000% chance of winning a lotto, why would you do that versus you have a 100% chance of getting the outcome that you needed if you simply just invest in yourself? Which also tells me that you're not good at gambling. You don't even know stats. You have no idea how stats work. Wait, what are you talking about? He shaved his face for looking. Wait, what? He shaved his silver fox looking thing. Oh, is that? I'm always gonna have the silver coming in. I was just taking care of some stuff, so I wanted to do a little bit of a change up. I got tired of it, so that's all it was. I was like, what is she saying? What? Huh? Oh, shout out, OG. Oh, you poured people in here. But they gonna leave. They I appreciate you for the effort, OG. They gonna leave though, because I've been talking about some shit that's really gonna hit people and their souls and their spirits, because they're not gonna be ready for it. And also there's a bit of projection that happens as well. Um, so I'm not gonna get into it. We gonna work on that later. I got a whole, you know what? KM, Locksmith, Yvette. You know what, Yvette? What? Yvette. I forget. I'm working on so many different things that I forget to 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 do things again, because I've been around for a while. Here you go. There you go, baby girl. I need to work on so many different things, because I got a whole, me, myself, and I have a whole project 2026. No, this has nothing to do with being a liberal, being a conservative, being left, being right. Y'all can take that shit and you could turn. I'm gonna do the rock. You could turn that son bitch sideways and you could stick it up your ass. This has nothing to do with any of that. I got my own projects for myself, for me, myself, and I. Because quite frankly, when I ask you guys to participate in our show's growth, you don't do so. So I'm going to say it is not our show. It is my show. That's just the way I see it, because that's the way how you decided to be in. When someone says, hey, I've got a great idea and it's going to be an investment and it'll work out best for all of us, you say, yeah, I'd rather wait till it's already big. And then you'll turn around and say later, oh, I was here from the start. Don't you remember? And I'm going to say, I don't know you. Who are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are. And I can go look back at my list. Do I remember you donating? No. Did I see you in the super chat? No, because you was lurking. Did I see you in the regular chat? No, you was lurking. Were you a part of my Discord? No. Did I talk to you on other people's channels? No. How do I know you was here? You didn't say nor do. You know what, Resla? Hey, by the way, did you talk in my comment section? No. So how do I know who the fuck you are? I hit the like button. Oh, you. And by the way, let me just tell you, even my haters have hit like buttons. So how can I tell that you're any different from my haters if you do not do yourself a favor and make yourself known within the community? I don't. So I'm sorry. We don't know you. You are not recognizable, which means that you need to do something for yourself as well as what's going on for the community that you claimed as you're one to be part of. That's just what it is. Think about it. I go live when I go live, and I don't even bother grifting or saying every segment or every second or every other few minutes to remind you guys or throw up graphics that says, be sure to donate to the platform. Be sure to give up your money to the platform. Stop. You know what I want? For you to engage with the community right now. That's all I want you to do. Hit the like button if you happen to be here, and of course, engage with people that are there. Because if you're the person who's distracted, who likes to watch, who have like 50 million tabs sitting up there, you don't do anything for anyone. Let me say that again. You don't do anything for anyone, not even yourself. You don't. I said this before in the past. If you go to someone else's platform, you don't even say where you were from, where you came from, what were you watching. In fact, you'll take other people's talking points. If you're a person that gets up on a platform, on a panel, or even in a chat, you won't even say where you got that idea from or whose words that you're plagiarizing and where you got it from. You'll just try to run it like it's your own. And the sad part about it is that most of you guys who do it, not even content creators. Ain't that a damn shame? Ain't that a shame? But I appreciate you, Crazy Mama. Crazy Mama says, take my money. No. I'm not taking it. I guarantee you your money, your $4.99, thank you for it. But look, you already hear the background noise. Will go only into the platform. Anytime I see whatever it is that's come through, I immediately just throw it back into the platform because it requires your time, your hard-earned money, and your attention. So therefore, it requires my time, my hard-earned money to try to match, and my attention to make sure it goes back into the platform so that we can have a better show in the future. But we can't have a better show without an investment of our time and our attention, and even from time to time, our dollars. But that's a decision that you have to make. It's not a decision that's made by anyone else. Because again, folks, for those who didn't know, I know you guys came over from OG, but you can even take the opportunity to go see. I don't get paid by YouTube. What do you mean? Aren't you monetized? You get super chats. These are people who do not understand how the algorithm and also how YouTube works. Just because you have super chats does not mean that you are, quote, monetized. And I'm not going to bother going about explaining it to you because I have so many episodes and there are so many people that already know this. All of my mods already know this. There are plenty of people in the chat that already know this. And you can easily look up the terms and conditions of YouTube. So I'm not going to waste my time with it. It is what it is. And for those who have been around long enough, you already know what I'm aiming for. You already know it's not YouTube AdSense. You already know what it is. So when we talk about the cost, right? The cost of people not really investing, because that's really the most important part. We're talking about people who need to, quote, invest, not just in themselves, but also within the people that they want to be around them. And that's why I talk about the idea of protecting yourself, protecting your mind, protecting your space, and of course, protecting your own investments. By the way, an investment in life is where your piece isn't rented out by the applause. It is when you are able to own your own shit outright because it doesn't come from anyone else. It just comes through your truth. You said that's 50 cents after. It probably is. It really probably is. Who knows if they probably already raised it up, because I think they just gave me a whole new update on their policies, or rather making it clean. I'll have to read that. I just saw the email today. And I want to talk about the people who are going through their own navigating versus fitting in, because I need to talk about some of you guys. I'm talking about the difference between those who are trying their best to fit in and those who are just trying to navigate the actual terrain. Fitting in sounds really safe for a lot of you. You'll do anything. You'll circle jerk. You'll make sure that you jump to other people's communities pages, friends groups, in real life. You'll learn about what other people are interested in, and you'll do a whole deep dive on the things they're interested in and totally ruin who you are as an individual. If you're not interested in sports, you don't have to reference sports in order to feel like you can fit in. It's not your jam. Save that mental energy for the things that are important for you. If people are interested in music that you're not interested in, do not go about your way to learn about all the music that they're interested in so that you can be, so that they can like you. Do not do that to yourself. Focus on the things that are important to you. This is also the reason, folks, why a lot of people in the space, and I do agree with this as well, say that relationships fall apart because guys and gals, we will do things that are really bad for us. Like, forsake the things that we find as pet peeves for ourselves and forsake those things when we are getting to know somebody just to make a relationship work or just to secure the relationship. Do not do this. If it forsakes the things that you do not like, do not do it. Because just to get the relationship, just to get the D ladies, just to get the box, guys, after you've already secured that, and now you have to really learn about this person outside of the bedroom, those things that you forsaked will get on your nerves if they are doing those particular things. And you only have you to blame because you did not do your homework. You did not do your due diligence, but most of all, you forsake your own principles. Just don't do it. Fitting in sounds really, really safe. It feels like it's the easier option. You'll trim the edges off your own personality. You will mute your own opinions. You will soften your voice just so you can fit in at the table that doesn't even feed you. You'll convince yourself practically that if I just play along, maybe I'll finally be accepted. And here's the truth. Fitting in is just survival without any form of direction. You don't grow. You don't expand. You just shrink yourself into someone else's version of the things that they see as acceptable. Navigation? That's different. Navigation is movement. It's forward motion. Even if it doesn't look impressive to other people, navigation is where you can look at it back and say, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I am still steering my own ship. And you say, I'm steering my own ship. I'm adjusting. I'm learning to read the map of my own life. And the key word that I want to put up to people is that single word, yet. Other people will try to convince you where you should be for them rather than where you should be for yourself. When you start navigating, when you stop waiting for permission, when you stop seeking the approval of other people, you stop begging for entry into rooms that you do not belong in anyway. You stop bending your own values and your own needs for temporary seats at a table that you do not even need to be at and you don't even need to serve. You should not even be seeking to drink water off the table that you're not even thirsty for. Let me summarize my point real quick. Your life isn't about squeezing into someone else's circle. It's about chartering your own map, plotting your own course, even if the road looks lonely at first. That's the point I'm getting at. And a lot of people have a problem doing that. I'm just going to be honest with you. You said people need to stop showing their representatives when they first meet someone. Not just when they first. I'm trying not to say word wish. I would appreciate people being who they are up front when they first meet somebody than bullshitting who they're not. And here's my next thing. Most of all, being honest with the people that they first meet. So for instance, when people walk up to me and say, Resla, how you doing today? I'm just like, I'm not gonna be like, I'm fine. I don't do that. I'm like, hey, how you feeling? I'm tired. But thanks for asking. Thank you for asking, but I am tired. Hey, are you doing good today? I'm not doing good today. I'm not here to run your whole ear off about why I'm not doing good today, but let you know I'm not doing good today. But if things change, I'll be sure to let you know. Hey, I've got a lot on my mind right now. I'm just Now, some of you guys will look at that and be like, well, this person just got a shitty fucking lifestyle or a shitty mood, or this person can't be talked to or whatever. That's not the way how I run things. I let people know, even if I'm in a shitty mood, even if I'm not doing well, even if I'm tired, that does not mean that you don't have to do your part in reaching out to me if you need me. I've said this before in many places that I've worked at, when I've been online and talked to you guys. Listen, I've even done this, and I tried to scale down from doing it. I've even done this when I've done live streams. I'm in a shitty mood. I'm not good, but I went live. But more and more, I realize I'm not going to do that because I cannot have the kind of conversation that I want to have with people. So I've limited myself from doing that. But I think it's very important that you first and foremost are honest with yourself before you're honest with anyone else. And I think a lot of you guys are too busy worried about how other people feel before how you feel. When we turn around and say that you need to save yourself or you need to pour into yourself first before you pour into other people, why don't you think about it the same way? You need to consider how you feel first and how you interact with people before you consider how they are. Because sometimes that means that when you're not feeling well, folks, and you got to go to work and you feel like this is a day that you could spaz out on somebody, maybe, just maybe, you should call out. If you got the sick time or a personal day, whatever, you should call out. I'm just saying. Now that might go against a lot of y'all rules, especially for those of you guys who already have a problem with attendance. That's going to be a you problem altogether. But if you're not good, do not go in not good. You should take the day to recharge yourself, to make yourself your best self. Because I guarantee you, when you're in a shitty mood, you go in there, you're not going to be your best self. And tomorrow you will feel the same way. Because why? You didn't take the time to reorganize yourself. You went in a shitty mood and you went into the next day still feeling just as drained, if not more drained than you did the day where you were feeling shitty. A lot of time, well, especially when people start talking about mental health, a lot of time people do not do their due diligence and make sure that they are good first. Why are you sacrificing yourself for a company that has no problem getting rid of you? It's one thing if you are having your own job, your own company, and you have no choice but to be there. But if you're working under someone else's clock, but you have enough time to take yourself off that clock, why aren't you doing it? You don't make sense. We do choose how we feel, but but here's the thing that we also need to look. That's very important because I agree with you. We do choose how we feel. I get what you mean mentally, not physically. We do choose how we feel, but the same way when I say this to you, I'm also meaning for the other people who are outside of us. Because we cannot choose how other people feel when they walk into work, which is why I'm also saying to you, do not come to work. If your kids are a pain in the ass, if you hate your job, if you hate some of the coworkers there, if you woke up with a tummy ache and it makes you mentally unstable, just don't go to work. Other people who did not subscribe as to how you're going to be for that day do not need to deal with your bullshit. They do not need to rearrange how they are feeling to deal with your bullshit. Because when they were hired, no one ever, if KM and I were hired at the same business, if KM, Yvette, Locksmith, if any of us, if Leopard, if we were all hired at the same business and I have a shitty day, they were not hired during their job interview and said, yo, by the way, when you join the company, you need to make sure that Resla is good. That was never part of the agreement. Their job was to make sure that they did what they were supposed to do for the job and their performance. It was not to make sure that I'm good, that I do things that they make sure that I am good so that they don't feel like they have to walk on eggshells. That was not the agreement. And only a real one will walk up and say, how you feeling, Resla? I'm like, I ain't good. Oh, maybe you should call out. Yeah, I'm already here. I mean, whatever. Yeah, but if you're not good, your head's not in the game. I don't want to pick up anything because you're fucking up. And I don't want you going off on anyone else because you're not in a good mood. You should you got the time? Yeah, I got personal time or got sick time or whatever. You should go to your manager, really, and you should just take the time off. I want to see you only here. Not saying that you got to be in a great mood because you may not, the problem might be your job, but I want to see you here ready to do what you need to do. I don't want you here distracted or worse, angry, and you take something out on someone else. But like human beings and like human condition, we turn around and we do. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's their problem, not my problem. But then when that person spasses out on you, you're shocked. Some of you people, yeah, I say you people. Some of you people turn around and you talk about like brotherly love or you're Christian or how we're all family or whatever case may be, but you don't look out for your fellow person, your fellow coworker, your fellow man, your fellow woman, your fellow constituents, your fellow employee, your fellow colleagues, your unless they happen to become your work husband or wife, you guys don't really give a fuck about them. So I ask you not to be a hypocrite, not just for them, but also for yourself. Think about your actions. If you know you have over a month of PTO, it's not going to hurt you to take a day off when you know you're on your worst day. It's not going to hurt you. Do it. I can tell you as someone who used to work so many hours or so many days, sick, whatever, that the moment I took a day off, people went, he's not here? He took what off? Is everything okay? If I took a single solitary day off, they would look at me like, wait, he took what off? They call you, is everything good? Yeah, you don't take time off. Listen, I've seen you come here and throwing up in the trash bin. Like, you good? You didn't take off? And when people have that thought process about you is because you're already damaged. When someone can turn around and say, yo, you're damn near dying, but you stay here? You're throwing up and everything. You've been in and out the bathroom and everything. You've been cut, bleeding and everything. But this is a day that you decide to call out? That's a problem and a standard and a premise that you set. And it's not a healthy one. Because it says that you care more about a business that you didn't create more than you do your own life. You care very little about your life. That's what it says to me. I know coworkers who have created parties and says, I'm going to invite the coworkers that I want to invite for this party. And for the date of the party, you know what they did? They called out. They called out to create the party, to buy all this shit to create the party, while all the coworkers that they know who are going to show up at the party were at work, knowing that these people wanted to unwind when they left work. Where are you going? We're all going to Janice. She called out today. Yeah. But we're all going to Janice because we know why she called out. She wants to all have fun with us. I'm not mad at these people. But she took her time off so that she could also celebrate the people that she likes to work with, rather than be there and be stressed and then have to leave with everybody else and then try to put all the shit together. No, she had a great day to unwind, which means when all of these people who are possibly stressed, go to her dwellings, she has the energy and the mental capacity to now make their all engagement prosperous, funny, engagement, all a part of the whole shit. These are people who I admire. These are people who, even you say, oh, look what she did. She even sacrificed her own time at work so that everybody else can have a good time. It's twofold. She sacrificed all her mental strain or having to be at work, taking care of herself first, and then poured in extra energy to have a good time, something that she also is going to engage in, take part of, to make sure that other people who could also use that time could also come through and have a good time. Because on their own, they probably wouldn't be able to do it. Someone had to be the one to take initiative. And thank God for them, Janice was the one who did it. Because a lot of people will talk about putting this all together, but won't actually do it. They will wait till a holiday time comes up when everybody's not working, rather than just make a scheduled day and say, hey, if you can, I know you're going to be tired, but if you can manage to show up, I'm going to make sure there's a good party and that you have the things that you also like as well. Janice might even be the type of person that walks over and say, hey, I'm doing a party. It's going to be next Friday. And I know we get paid this Friday. You don't have to bring anything. I'm going to have everything there. I just want to know, what's your favorite snack or drink or whatever? Because I'm expecting you to be here. Keith, you're going to be here? Keith likes what? Salt and vinegar chips. I'm going to make sure I get that. That's Keith's thing. Hey, I'm going to go, hey, how's it going? Patricia. Hey, Patricia, what do you like? You said you like what? You like red velvet cake. I got you. And we'll have something personal for every individual leading all the way up to that day. And then that day up, I wonder what Janice got going on. I don't know how Janice is going to get it all done. You know, she got to show up here to work too. And then someone says, Janice called out today. And they're like, that bitch. And they're all texting Janice. But you know what Janice says? No, we're still on for today. I just want to make sure I got everything together. We're good. I got the favorite movies. I got everything. Or everything's all set. Even their manager would be like, yeah, Janice called out. Yeah, we all know. But didn't y'all say that Janice was throwing a party? Yeah. And Janice called out? Yeah. That manager's going to get mad? I can't believe this bitch couldn't come to fucking work. And they're like, she had the time, right? Yeah. That's your problem, not hers. Just like it is your problem that you did not get invited. Heavy is the crown, right, motherfucker? And everybody goes to Janice. And when we show up next week on Monday, we will tell you how great the party was that you weren't there for. Unless Janice invited you. That's it. But Janice was also being an authentic individual when she did so. Taking care of not just her needs, but also the needs for other people who are not willing to take care of their own needs. How many of you guys can say that you will be like that? That you will be like Janice? There are not many people who are like that. This is why I'm talking about you not even needing to be the person who squeezes yourself into other people's circles. Sometimes you just need to be that person that other people want to be around. That person that everybody will want to build a circle around. You don't need to shrink yourself, but you also don't have the other people shrink to you. They will build a circle around you because you shown to take care of them when they didn't even ask for it. And that's the hard part, the loneliness. Because sometimes you're going to have to be the person that does something first before anyone else thinks to do it. Ladies, you do this a lot. I want to go to the gym and get a better body, but you won't go by yourself. You need your girlfriend to show up. Then, of course, your girlfriend gives you nothing but excuses, and therefore both of you never go to the gym. But if one of you take the initiative in going to the gym by yourself and building up that body and build yourself into a good state, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a sculptured goddess, but just look better than the person that claimed that you guys were going to do it together. That person will kick themselves for not getting in and doing it with you. And all of a sudden that person will start showing up. Someone needs to take the initiative first. Someone needs to be the example first. You hate going to the gym by yourself. I can't now, but I don't. No one likes it. Hey, the same way how you say, I don't like going to the gym by myself. Tell me someone who really says, I like going to work. But they have to do it. See, and sometimes they go, I'm good at work right now. I'm good. I'm happy I got this stuff done. But that's only after time of being at work, they got into work. The same thing happens with the gym. You're not good. You don't like to be at the gym and work out. You don't ever say, I won't even say you don't ever like to be at the gym. What you don't like is working out. Let's be honest. If gym was a good social spot where you could just talk to people about the things that you enjoyed, you would like going to the gym. What you do not like is working out. But once you begin working out, you begin to get into it. And the sad part about it is that when you're dealing with a friend, it is very difficult for two people who have no experience to feel like getting into pain and gain. But when you understand that after a little bit of initial pain, you start getting into fun, that only comes with practice. But you cannot practice something if you don't take the initiative. And it's hard to take the initiative if you're only moving forward requires someone else. If your friend calls out on you and said, I can't make it to the gym, girl, because I'm tired, because I was sweating hard, because I overslept, because my stomach, say, girl, I understand you. And you go to the gym. And when your friend calls you and say, where you at? Pumping weights, getting myself together, and you start rubbing it in. Hey, I met this guy at the gym. Yeah, he was cool and everything. Hey, I met this guy. I'm growing a gym family. They're real cool. Your friend, next time you meet with your friend for brunch or whatever, she's like, girl, you have so much energy. What's going on? Girl, that gym life, girl. Oh, your stomach. Oh, you're getting a little thicker. Your arms is looking tall. Yeah, girl, I've been telling you, girl, that gym, like, she's going to change her shit around. And if she doesn't change her shit around, ladies, that's a person you're going to know that you probably need to cut from your life. Now, the problem with you guys is just like hoarding, you do this with people in your lives as well. I can't. I've known this person for so long. If they're, but outside of you just saying that you've known them, because not for nothing, you can say that you've known a junkie for a long time. Do you want to keep that junkie in your life? No. Then you need to cut your fucking friend that's not doing anything for you either. The same way how you went to high school and elementary school and you didn't keep a lot of these people in your lives, you're going to have to do the same thing as an adult. What do you think is going to happen when you get old to the point and you decide to retire from your job? You think you're going to keep those people? If you retire and these people do not retire, you're going to keep these people around your life? No, you're not. You're going to lose them as well. Life is about choices and trade-offs, wins and losses. There will always be people who will come in and people who you will leave. And I guarantee there'll be no different when your ass is in the fucking retirement home. You're going to meet people that you never met before who are also sitting in a nursing home like you are, and they will become your friend, a brand new person. And if you manage to outlive them in a nursing home, you will lose them. This is the bitter nature of the comings and goings of relationships. I know. I just hit you with some real sad shit. But this is literally the same shit that you've been experiencing all of your life that you wish not to acknowledge. This is the gymnasium of life. And the quicker that you understand this, the better decision that you will be able to make. Instead of believing that you can run a relay race with people hanging around your neck, versus it's easy for you to run that race with people who are willing to run with you. Think about that for a moment. I know some of you, especially you ladies, you want to sit there and you want to dismiss it. No, I don't know. He talking about, fuck what he's talking about. If you sit there and you think about it, you're not going to be able to refute it. If you really think about it, you're not going to be able to refute what I just said. Because I could use that same example for the guys, because we do this shit too. Not so much the friends needing to go to the gym, but we do this with other aspects of our life as well. It's going to be difficult for you to refute what I just said, because there's nobody who's here in this chat who has not experienced them moving on, or the people that they've met that they've sat for an entire year with no longer talking to these people. You did it through to elementary school, through junior high school, and through high school. There are plenty of people that you just do not associate with anymore. No. I didn't say nothing about toxic people. It doesn't just need to be toxic people, Angela. It doesn't need to just be toxic people. People who are great people that you got along really well. Life just happens because people change. People get married. People move. People get better opportunities. There are plenty of things that take precedence in life that just have us move on. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs to be responsible of their shit, for their shit. I have friends that I still feel like I'm good with. I can remember how we used to hang out back in the past, whatever. And I can tell you that I have a very difficult time seeing them on a monthly basis. Sometimes I don't see some friends that I hold really dear and close to me who I have not seen in a whole quarter. Because life happens. That doesn't mean I still don't hold them near and dear to my heart. But life happens. That's just the way it is. And sometimes you meet up with each other and you'll have to catch up, and you'll have so much shit that you have to talk about because they weren't there for every moment of the ride. And there are plenty of people who understand this. We do this like family reunions where you have to travel far to go meet family. Oh my gosh, what have you done for the year? Because you only see these people for maybe 1 week of an entire year. And then some people you never see again. We know this already, but somehow we act like we never experienced this. Why? You said the right people will be at the right time with you. Well, that's also subjective. What is the right time? The right time for them or the right time for you? It's like information. It's like skills. It's like, information costs, but it pays for itself. But when you utilize that information, it's only at its time when it's useful. That's the thing that I can't believe I went to school and I didn't use none of this shit. And then all of a sudden it might be 4, 5, 10 years later, and there's a situation that comes up, and all of a sudden you're able to utilize that skill. Why? because you learned it. You didn't need it all the way to 10 years later, but you have that information. I agree. I agree when you say we can share a season with certain people, and there are some people that honestly it's only meant to be temporary. It's meant to be temporary. It sometimes it's like, oh, it's a season. Sometimes you're only meant to have them. By the way, you're only meant to have them as a lesson. There are some people you meet like you're singing like, and I wish I never met her at all, even though I love her so. She was a bitch to me. And then maybe you need to learn that lesson though. You need to learn that lesson. You never want to see that person again, but it was a lesson that now put you in the forefront for other shit going on in the world. And sometimes you need that. A lot of people don't even want to say that they want to learn from negative experiences, but that's very prevalent. It's important to pay attention to that. That's just what it is. I agree. I agree with that. All the people we meet teach us something. I think a lot of people just don't take their time to learn. And I've said this, like everybody you meet is a part of your network. For good or for bad, they are a part of your network. But I think a lot of people think if this person's not sitting with me through all the goods and through all the bads, then they're no good. And I'm like, you're screwing up. You're screwing up. Because these are the people that, or rather, that's the mindset that when you're looking at particular people, you're thinking about this. If I cannot use them whenever I need to use them, then they are no good for me. And that is a terrible mindset. There are people who live states away from me, almost the other side of the damn country. If I just talk on social media, you know what they tell me? I have an opportunity for you. I don't know if you're looking to do something. I don't know if you're looking to move or whatever, but there was something that came up and I thought about you and I wanted to let you know. Not knowing at the time what's going on in your life. Maybe you're sitting at almost rock bottom and all of a sudden this person who you haven't spoken to in almost a year, maybe 2/4 of the year, half the year, and they go, I was thinking about you because something popped up and I don't know why. I'm sorry I'm reaching out. Like I was looking at it and you're like, oh shit, like actually that does sound interesting. Oh, really? Yeah. Can we talk about it a little bit more? And you never know. Which is why I say you build rapport with people. But let me also say this. Building rapport doesn't always mean it's going to be good. Because I've had people who do not like me recommend me for shit. And I'm like, that mofo said, me? Yeah, they don't like you, but they understood that if they want to get to this level, you were the best person for the job. I was like, interesting. I walked into boardrooms and then after a whole boardroom meeting of them being absolutely fucking church mouse quiet, meet them later on, maybe in the hallway or cafeteria or whatever. And I was like, yo, what's up? And they're like, no, what's up? I'm like, I wasn't even a part of this meeting. I heard that you recommended me. He's like, I mean, well, you know the shit, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know the shit. Just surprised that I get that we don't really rock with each other, but if you know the shit and it's gonna help out the entire team, I figured whatever. You know what I say? My nigga. I respect that. My nigga. We dap. We may never see eye to eye, but we respect each other's work ethic. That's still building rapport, ladies and gentlemen. It's not either I hate you or I don't. I don't need to like you to respect your work ethic or respect your intellect for the job. But too many people say, I don't give a fuck what you know. and how good you know it, if I don't like you, we are enemies. And that's stupid. Because when a person comes down and they do have all their information, when you go down in flames, that person that you rocked with, who doesn't know shit to be able to help you, is also going to go down in flames. I'm happy that you said that. That God is always using people to provide us needs. I'm happy that you said that, because when I say this, people get mad. You know who God also used to provide us needs? Hitler, Stalin, Mao. Oh, I'm not gonna agree with that, Resla. Hitler was and the Jews were and communist China was. Do they not serve as lessons for how we want other developing nations to or not to behave like? Do they not serve as lessons? Well, yeah. So that means you would never know what these tyrants or whatever else look like if they didn't exist, right? Well, yeah. Hey, stop there. Take it. Take the lesson. Take the lesson. They are examples of quote, what we do not wish to see. However, they are also examples of how some of the ruthless want to behave. Good or for ill, but the lesson is there. Leopard, you said my dad used to say, I know he didn't say, take your time, young girl. I know he didn't say that. So you say it's not who you know. I say it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's true, but I also say this. It's good to know low people in high places. It is good to know ain't shit people who are in good places. Just saying. As I say, rapport doesn't have to mean that you get along really well. It is great to know people who you know ain't shit, but they're in a good spot where they can get you in. Take it. Take it. Well, I can't talk to them because, we were never good with each other. Reach out. You'd be surprised. Take it. And some of y'all get too much in your feelings where you can't take it. Take it, ladies. Take it. I'm just saying. You got to do what you got to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But too many people, too many of y'all look at things in terms of silence. But if you stand in that silence long enough, it's going to become your strength. Or it can become your downfall if you don't really pay attention well enough. And I think for a lot of people, we start to realize, like, I don't need a circle of validation, especially for those that's going to give me my fucking direction. What I like is a compass. I tell people, stop trying to be comets. You should be the sun and you should be the moon. You should be consistent, always expected to be there. A great friend is someone that you know that regardless of where you are, how you're doing, that person will be there. Hey, like I know I ain't talked to you in a while. I know shit is really bad. What you need? I got you. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what? Let me ask you. Have you ever had to walk away from a group, a job, even like a friendship, just because you realize that they were only there to fit in? Think about how heavy that feels. And then think about how light you eventually felt once you knew you weren't there just to be for performing people anymore. How good did that shit feel? And to me, that's the payoff. That is the payoff. When you're learning to navigate, navigation takes courage, but it also gives you a bit of clarity. And clarity is more valuable than any applause that you're getting, especially when the applause that you're getting is not genuine. Because the danger of fitting in is that once you get used to shrinking yourself, you forget what your actual full size was like. You forget that what your real dimensions were, how expansive you could be. You convince yourself that you're supposed to be small. And then guess what? Your life passes by. And all the while, you sit in someone else's shadow because you're so small. But when you're dealing in a state of navigation, you force yourself to stand all the time at your full height. Or as we guys like to say, you stand fully erect. It forces you to take ownership of yourself and what direction that you're moving in. And even if you somehow stumble, even if the road is motherfucking tough, you know that it's still your road to claim. And there's no regret behind that. So folks, remember this. Fitting in is about comfort. Navigation is about what your purpose is. One mistake will make you invisible, but the other road is undeniable. And so here's where I'm going to land with this. Wait, what? We got a few people. Wait, what? Oh, 10th Man. What's going on, 10th Man? I see you in here. Appreciate it. Oh, 10th Man with the raid. I appreciate you. Damn, I was about to call it. I was just about to call it quits. I was just thinking about calling it quits at least. That shit. Hey, listen, it's like that for people. And if you want to do that because you're desperado, there are a lot of desperados out here. There's a lot of them. You say when you need validation from people, you can. You can because you're emotionally invested in their cheering for you. So I agree with that. That is absolutely true. I was saying that what I was saying, damn, I got distracted by that. But basically being okay with who you are. Being okay with who you are doesn't mean that you're flawless. It doesn't. I'm very much okay with who I am. I keep telling motherfuckers I am absolutely selfish. I love who I am. Because it took a long time to get to this path. It doesn't mean that you've never made any mistakes. As long as you are living and breathing on earth, you will make mistakes. It doesn't even mean that you're satisfied with every chapter of your life. Lord knows there's a lot of chapters in my life that I'm thinking should have been rewritten, but they wouldn't have made the man that you met today. What it means is you stopped holding yourself back. You stopped holding yourself hostage to your past. You stopped living as if every misstep is still on trial. You've accepted the fact that the version of you from 5 years, from 3 years, from 1 year, from 10 years ago, from yesterday, even if even if they didn't always get it right, they did the best they could with what they had. And you can respect that version of yourself, because that version of yourself still led you to all the way you are now, which is to you unlocking your peace. The critics will always talk. They will always point out, or rather, they will always point at the choices that you made, good or for ill, your scars, your setbacks. But critics don't carry your life. They don't carry your experience. They don't carry the battles that they can't see, because they can only point out your scars. They can't point at your experience. They can't point at the lesson that you've taken. They can't point at your strategy. They don't wake up in your body. They don't feel the weight of your journey and the decisions that you had to make to get there. That's only for you. So you have a choice. You've always had a choice. You can live chasing their approval, or you can live standing in your own acceptance. Now, let me say this. Peace is not loud. Peace is not loud. Peace is not flashy. Peace is quiet. Peace is steady. It's waking up and knowing that even if the world doesn't clap for you, you feel all right, because you can still look back in your own life and you can clap for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the loudest approval isn't the applause of other people. It's the silence of your own consciousness when you're finally sitting at rest. That's what being okay with yourself really means. I hope that a lot of people will be able to understand that. How you feel about yourself is better than how other people feel about you. Hopefully, a lot of you will come to understand that one day. I think a lot of you are too busy looking at other people to like you and to want you than for you to take care of the needs of yourself. That's the way how I look at it. Oh man, I appreciate OG for coming in and actually for rating. 10th man, I appreciate you for walking in here and rating as well. I am really on. I'm gonna actually have to call it quits, because there are so many things that I'm gonna have to work on. And I also got a gaming thing that I've got to start taking care of as well. And I haven't prepared for everything. I came in late, so I got so many tons of videos I got to watch at, because I'm thinking about stuff I'm going to look at and things I might even react to. So we'll see from there. And you know what? I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to do this real quick, because this is just going to be for y'all. This is going to be for you guys. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start dropping this for you guys. Let's get some people up in here. Let's do that. Let's see who gets some membership in for today. So appreciate the KDK up in here as well. I appreciate that. We got Teresa's up in here. Oh, Blizzy Blind has got a freaking membership as well. Okay. I appreciate you. For those who are actually getting your memberships. And we will start doing this for a while. I will start doing more, not only lives, but I will also start doing some more video content as well. That's a lot of stuff I'm working on. So it is very difficult to spend so many hours doing video content and then turning around and actually trying to do live. So I've got to try to segment a lot of the space that I have in, because real life kicks in. Anyway, I appreciate a lot of you guys for being here. If this hits home, do yourselves a favor, and also do the people that you know a favor. Clip it, pass it, make sure somebody else gets to hear it who actually needs it. And of course, support however you can. But most importantly, live it. I am your guy, Resla, and I want you to remember to be okay with who you are, because at the end of the day, That's all you really can be. And that's all you should expect to be. I'll see you in the next one. Later, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. I'll see you in the next one. Later, y'all.